So the Blessed Virgin Mary challenges us, each and every one of us, to give our consent to Christ's call to the church, that we be disciples of His mercy. We must understand that this Jubilee Year of Mercy is Christ's calling the church to authentic discipleship in mercy. The Mother and the Son say, "Fear not." Saint John Paul II opened his papacy of mercy. How quickly the world forgets, don't they really? How quickly the world forgets. His was a papacy of mercy. Grace builds on all that has preceded us. When he opened his papacy of mercy, it was the same call, and his words still reverberate in my heart, and I suspect in the hearts of many. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Open wide the doors for Christ. With confidence, let us open the door of our hearts to Christ. Didn't Jesus say that to St. Maria Faustina Kowalska? That the floodgates of mercy are wide open. But this is a time of grace before the day of judgment. And again, not a permissive God. Our God, so gracious and so marvelous and so wonderful and so loving that He's not going to treat us like a China dolls, but He demands of us something because we are His body, the mystical body of Christ, and we are to be the disciples of His mercy, carriers of God's love, beacons of hope and pillars of truth. Next Sunday, we're going, again, the wonderful providence of God, and I invite you to come, certainly. December 13th, we will officially bless and open the holy doors because we're one of the places of pilgrimage, places of indulgence during the Mercy Year. And by the providence of God, we've needed new doors for a long, long time. And by the providence of God, these doors come providentially, you know? I mean, who could have planned it this way? That we have brand new doors that have been installed, just still in the process of being installed at this time, this particular time in our history. And those doors will be blessed, and they will be open, and they will be the holy doors. The holy doors are also called the doors of pardon. Open, the people who come from near and far, walking to these doors, that these doors open the hearts to all, to an outpouring of God's merciful love, because His gaze is fixed on the fallen. Jesus has His gaze fixed on the fallen, on the tired, on the exhausted, on the lost, on the lonely, and the fearful. And we are His disciples. If we don't go, who's going to go? We need radicalized Catholics, don't you think? Radicalized Christians who are conscious always that I belong to Jesus. As Father Rocky said, we live in Jesus. We live for Jesus. We live through Jesus. We live with Jesus. Those are the words of Mother Teresa, no? The words of Mother Teresa. There's an urgency to the call. Let me just conclude by telling you that, don't go away, stay here. Stay with us, No, just, and I encourage you to invite others, everybody. When Our Lady asked for the parish in 1999, it's a long story, but indeed she said, give me the parish and make me mother and queen. And we've been through so many struggles since then, because she doesn't make it easy for anybody, at least not for us. But we love her, and she's not a guest. This is her home. This is her home. For what purpose? She says that the rude noise of the world, the cacophony of the world will not, must not shout into silence the voice of the living God. I'm asking you to help us build sanctuary here. And when I say that, I'm not asking for your money. Of course, if you want to give it, do it with it. But that's not at all what it's about. Whatever we need comes when we need it. But to come and pray. To pray. This is what we're offering Chicago during the Year of Mercy and beyond. You can even pick up a little card in the back of the church and commit to maybe an hour a month or an hour a week to come and to pray. We only interrupt the adoration when we're celebrating the sacred mysteries, or there's a wedding, or only then. But we have before the iconic monstrance, Our Lady the sign, the adoration, 24 hours, all night, all day. This is what we're asking. This is what we're asking. The doors are open. If you can just get the word out, because we have so much testimony. We can't boast of numbers, but we can boast of the power of God's grace. When people, even unbeknown to themselves, come off the expressway and happen to walk to the church and are suddenly the encounter with God. It brings people to their knees and tears. Healing. So we want people to know that the doors are open. And I'm just going to leave it at that. There's going to be so many other things that are going on during the Mercy Year here, but you got to come and see. You got to come and see. The first Friday we're instituting the hour of reparation from 6 to 7 on Fridays, followed by the Mass. Well, there's much more. I just want, the main thing is, because I know this is what her plan for us, her mission for the parish and for Chicago here, is that the doors are open and that there is a silence that is imbued with the very presence of God, that His voice be heard. So I want to thank you very much for being here this evening, or this afternoon and this evening, and we're all in this walk together. But let us be radicalized. Let us be so fully possessed by the Lord that when people see us, they see only Him. That we can say, as St. Paul said, I decrease. It's not I who live, but Jesus who lives in me. Or St. John the Baptist, I decrease and He increase. We died and He lived. When Jesus says, die to yourself, that you live. No, we die that He lived. Because when He lives, we have life. We lose ourselves, let's just say not to find ourselves, but to find Jesus. I lose myself to find Jesus. Now when I find Jesus, then I find myself. So finally, if God indeed is reaching out a hand, His hand, with urgency, in this time, here and everywhere throughout the world, we need to place our hands in the hand of God reaching out to us, but that means we've got to let go of something, right? We've got to let go of something in order to take grasp of His hand, that He truly, truly lift us up, that we know true power, and the incomprehensible, most beautiful attribute of God is incomprehensible love and mercy.